Hi folks, Doyle Dykes here. This is segment number 2, teaching segment number 2 on the Thumpy song. And again, this is a Kirk guitar, wonderful instrument. When I record this, as I am even now, I'm recording the top as well, of course, as the pickup. I'm going through my Zoom AC3 and also a Orange Crush 30 amp, and then also have a mic here and a couple mics on the Zoom Q8 recorder. And so we left off, let's see. Oh, by the way, Jerry Reed was the first guy I ever saw play a Kirk guitar. Kirk Sand Guitars, Laguna Beach, California. And the first time I ever saw one of these was Jerry Reed. He was playing one of these guitars, and a friend of mine took me by this shop. Daryl Owens took me by his shop in Laguna Beach, California. And Daryl and I have been just fierce friends for a long, long time. But when I met Kirk Sand, I mean, he's just it just enlightened my life. It's just been such a blessing to me. And not only his guitars, just a wonderful guy. And of course, Chet Atkins played his guitars. He redesigned a guitar that Gibson was making at that time, and he did more like he did here. Now here's the Gibson. This is the Gibson CE model, they called it, and it's chambered, but nothing like this. And you can tell, I mean, it's still a great guitar, and it's more solid. Where this still, is braced, completely braced. This was a gift from Chet Atkins. I'll do something else on another portion. He signed it down here and called me over to his office one day. It's another story, but that was a gift from Chet. That was one of his personal guitars. But what a wonderful instrument this is. And on the other part, where we left off, is the... So you kind of have a... You're kind of doing that, but you're doing it with two notes. And bouncing off the A minor to a G. And you catch that bass. That's a tricky part too. And go back to single string. And it's leading down. You have a C7, but then you have an F sharp, but you change it to an F sharp. So it's resolvitude. And a lot of this, again, is movements. And so the first part is on the F. Goes back down to that E. Same thing as the beginning, E augmented 7. And it goes back to the A minor. And then it becomes an A augmented 7. And then a 7, form of an A7. And so you have two notes, and so you're picking your fourth string, your second and third, and then you move this down, and then you pick your first and third. And then your bass is in between all this. counterpoint movements, not just chords. That's it. And so this is up on a B, and it's just you start off with just a bar, straight, and then make a seventh out of. Same thing. And you sort of brush it. And that's your lick. Sometimes you just snap it off like that just as a roll or a hammer off. Very similar, except you're doing and here it is. Pull off. And from there on down it's simple, but it's you have to learn how to do this. And so every other note, here you have two notes, and then a third note is an open string, and you pick that with your middle finger, and then of course your index and thumb. Emphasis on the open string. Here it is. And that brings us to the next segment.